Hey guys, Tim here, Big Dog Forge. Welcome back. We're going to do something a little bit different this time. We're going to build a sheath for the trade knife so we can get that going. We need to get some more 15 and 20 in the shop. So that's going to help out. Couple of things. I want to reach out to some folks and let them know that I'm not ignoring you. Daniel Moss, I did or was able to read your emails. I haven't been able to respond. There's something going on with that. And I've tried and it just comes back to me. So I'm not sure if it's on your end, my end, or whatever. But all is good, my friend. Not to worry. And I'll figure out how to communicate with you soon. I'll probably send you a message on YouTube, private message thing. Philip Taylor, I wanted to say thank you. I did get your mail, and I feel like I've been neglecting you a little bit. Again, can't send any emails out, so I'm thinking it's my end. But I'm working on that. We're trying to change over carriers here so we can get some better internet, and it's messing with just about everything I got. So be patient with me, guys. Things are getting better. I'm feeling better, and we're going to start up some projects here. So anyway, I wanted to say thanks to Philip, and we got a little mail from Philip, so let's open that now. All right, guys, this is from Philip Taylor. Awesome friend of mine. Couldn't ask for a better friend. He's just super cool and has helped me out with the channel just immensely. And he sent me a letter and a piece of micarta. The letter I'm not going to share, but the micarta I will. And it looks like it's made out of exotic woods, and I am going to make some knife scales out of that, and I really look forward to it. Thank you, Philip. There you go. So that was some pretty awesome wood. It's like micarta, layers of different types of wood, and I think we're going to be able to build some pretty cool handles out of that. Philip does that himself, and something he's getting pretty good at from what I see there. So stick with me, guys, on this one, and it should be fairly short. So I'll stop talking and we can start building stuff. All right, hang in there. Stick with me, guys. We'll talk to you in just a minute. Bye. All right, guys, so we went down to Tandy Leather and we picked up some rivets and snaps and stuff like that, and we bought cowhide, like the whole darn thing, because we wanted to build a sheath, and this may take a whole cow to do. All right, so found myself the back of an old notebook to make a template out of, and I watched a total of 1 YouTube video. Now, I've been sewing leather for a while, not hand stitching. I've got an old vintage machine that I do it with, and so I have a little bit of experience in sewing leather, and it is not a typical leather sewing machine. It is a 1591 Singer, which is just sort of a heavy use, like home farm use kind of thing. It was built from the serial number back in 1937 or something like that, but it's in really good shape. So anyway, trying to figure out this template thing, and like I said, I don't even remember whose video I watched on how to make a template and a knife sheath, but this is going to be a little bit of a low budget knife sheath because we're not going to be using like veg tan or anything like that. This is oil tanned hide, and it is 6 ounce, I think, so it's a little thinner than what you would normally use. So it's going to be a little bit of a floppy sheath, but that's okay. It's a giveaway, and Corey's going to love it anyway. But I wanted to put this on video because honestly, I've not built a sheath before, and I wanted to see how this went, show you guys how it went. And we got enough leather there to do some other projects that we're going to tackle in the future, and we'll take you along for that ride as well. Alright, so in that corner I didn't want to use the scissors to overlap that, so Corey's knife worked out quite well to make a nice little, and I should have radiused that in hindsight, but you know, you live, you learn, whatever. We're doing okay here, I think. All right, I don't know what this piece is called, but it's like a little spacer that goes on the edge so that the knife blade itself can ride up against that. I guess it's so it doesn't cut into the stitching or whatever. It just gives it a little more width on the cutting edge of the blade. And using the sheath as a template is pretty easy. It gets you there pretty quick. I left a little extra room down at the tip for the point so it doesn't run into the end. Alright, so this stuff is some kind of leather glue. Got it at Tandy. And they said to spread it evenly. Well, that's as even as it's going to get, because we're going to stitch this thing anyway with our machine. And that's really what's going to hold it. I think the glue is just there to hold it together while you stitch it. I'm not really sure. Most things that I built on this machine, this is my 1591, and we're going through 3 layers of this 6 ounce, it's like, what they call it, 6 to 7 ounce, something like that, tanned leather. So it's needing a little bit of assistance. It's struggling a little bit. But we've got our leather needle in there, and we've got our nylon thread. I use sort of an upholstery thread for this, and it works out quite well. And it'll go through 2 layers of this particular leather very easily. When you get to 3, it gets a little more laborious for it. And I'm going to triple stitch the edge here, side by side. And it's going to be a little wavy, but it's not going to be too bad. Like I said, it's kind of a low budget thing. I wasn't going to go out and spend the money on a whole bunch of leather working tools that I'll never use, because not the leather worker. I just stitch things together. And we're going to stitch this belt loop. And you can see when I get around these corners how quickly this thing, of course we're moving a little bit of high speed here, but it has no trouble going through 2 layers of this. So, alright. So like I said, went down to Tandy and picked up some copper rivets with some little copper washers and a tool to sort of head the back of those rivets with. And I already had this, which is a hole punch. It's a little dial a hole punch thing for leather. So I didn't have to buy one of those. And we're going to rivet this thing at the top and bottom of this seam. And I'm going to end up putting a couple of rivets on the bottom of that belt loop just to reinforce it. I only put a single stitch around that belt loop holder, and I want to make sure it's good and strong. It's not going to come loose. And those little tools work pretty good. I could use a little more solid surface than this old table. Everything's bouncing around, but that was a comfortable workspace, so I put up with it. There we go. Now what I'm doing here is at the end of those stitches I'm putting in, it's like a seam glue to keep the threads that I punch through from fraying out and coming loose. That stuff works pretty well. And it's all hidden by the rivets anyway. There we go. A nice little round head on those things. And it's working out pretty well. Alright. And we got to make a little strap to go around and snap around the handle to hold it into the sheath. Now this little tool right here, this for cutting strips, I just made that out of a couple of pieces of plywood and a razor blade. It's adjustable. And I cut these just a hair under 3/4 inches wide. It's like 5/8, something like that. Just kind of adjusted it by eye. And what looked good to me at the time. And we'll bevel those corners off. And punch our holes. And we got these little 4-piece snaps. And you put them on and they have a different little tool. It kind of sets those snaps in place. There you go. Now, if I were good at this, I probably would have put that thing in place and sewn it into place before I put that belt loop together, but I didn't do that. So rather than go backwards and build another one, we're going to just put a copper rivet right through that thing, and we'll put the flat side towards the knife handle and round the rivet head on the other side. And those things sit just below the surface of the leather anyway, so it shouldn't rub the handle at all, cause any kind of a problem there. There you go. And round that guy off. And that little tool makes a real nice little round rivet head. Alright, we're going to scuff this leather up because I got fingerprints and Mars all over it. And I got some, they call it refinishing oil for tanned leather. And we're just going to wipe this all over it. And it should give us an even finish, even color, and a little bit of protection from the elements. There we go. Not too bad. Alrighty, guys. We're going to call this one done. Yeah, not too bad from a first go around, I expect. Let me know what you think. Alright, guys. Well, there you go. Not the most. I didn't show putting those guys in. A couple of reinforcements for that stitching right there. It's just a single stitch all the way around. Well, we got triple stitched all along the edge, riveted in the corners, and this guy's actually riveted back here, but that sits beneath the surface of the leather, so it's not going to mar up the handle at all. And that's a little bit tight. That's not too bad, actually. There we go. So I think Corey will enjoy that, and I think it'll be worth quite a bit. So of 15 and 20. So we should be doing pretty well on that, and we'll film that and pass that along to you and let you know how that goes. Yeah, I'm showing my age. Film that. We'll record that digitally on one of these devices. Because, you know, film is, a photo mat is not in business anymore, right? Maybe? I don't know. So, thanks, guys. Thanks for stopping by. If you like what you saw, give it a big thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, think about subscribing, because, you know, that's good. And remember, sharing is caring. So share the videos and show the love. Anyway, guys, thanks again. I'll leave you a couple of videos up here, down there, of random stuff. And then Big Dog. Click on Big Dog there, and you could subscribe to the channel and become a subscriber. All right, guys, I'm going to let you go. Thanks for everything. Take care. We'll see you soon. Bye now.